I barely slept for some reason. Usually pretty good at sleeping. Like, not necessarily when I want to, but when I finally sleep, I'm pretty good at it. It's just thinking about human desire. It's so interesting. Like, we want all these things, and we want other people, and we want to want them, and we want them to want us. But it's so tricky because when you desire something, you make yourself vulnerable to it, and it's good to be vulnerable because it makes you feel alive. But it's dangerous. And one of the most dangerous things about it is that if you do it poorly, you lose your ability to do it again. If you crave someone who rejects you, then it's hard to genuinely crave somebody because you don't want that to happen again. But people want to be wanted. And experiences, well, they don't have feelings, but to achieve anything important, you have to want it. And it's kind of a gross feeling to not really have passionate cravings, like to give in to more instinctual cravings, like for food, like to stuff your fat face. I mean, I'm not fat, I'm skinny, and I'm not trying to make anybody who's overweight feel bad. Quite the reverse, because I have food issues. I've had food issues since my early 20s, and yeah, it really sucks. It sucks to be like in an emotionally anxious state, and then you eat a big fucking mass of food and put yourself in a food coma, and then you still have the emotional thing to worry about, but then you have a physical thing to worry about that takes you away. And yeah, to be able to use all that emotional craving in a healthy way is really like the essential skill of life, or a essential skill of life. I mean, anyone who claims like this is it, I've figured out like the crux of everything, is full of shit, because there's no crux of everything. Like, I mean that's the interesting thing about life. You could find like thousands of cruxes of everything, and then they all have a grain of truth to it. But yeah, to really desire something is to make all the other desires a slave to it. Like, to take care of a child, you have to sacrifice. To achieve a mental or physical goal, you have to sacrifice. To read a book, even, you have to sacrifice. And it's a good feeling. I was thinking about taking this crazy trip to meet someone like that I know nothing about. And like, it's kind of embarrassing to even say it, but it's kind of cool. Like, when I travel, it's much easier for me to be focused because I don't have the internet. Like on an airplane, I read, I like watch videos I downloaded to watch later. That's hard for me to focus on in the moment. I'm really obsessed with self-control. Like, I used to fast a lot in my 20s. I have all these issues with food and digestion, and the way I fasted was not healthy because there was no sustainable solution. Like, I didn't really have a plan for my eating when I was done fasting. I would just fast. I mean, I would have a plan, but my plan would be misguided. Like, I was really into raw food, and which maybe works for some people, but I would have this kind of restricted mental construct of what a perfect diet or a perfect lifestyle was. But then I would fast and I would break it with something like Wheat Thins, and then I would start binging out because I guess my body would go into like panic mode. And people who don't understand this stuff, they say like, oh, of course, like, fasting's dumb, you're starving yourself, you're insane. And then that just makes you like mad because you're like, no, you don't understand. This could be healthy in the right context. I think that's a lot of things, like love. Like, say someone's in love with a person who's bad for them. It's hard to let go of that because it's nice to just be in love. And maybe it's safer to be in love with someone who's bad for you because it's like, I don't know, maybe I'm just talking shit now. I was going to say because you're not really risking as much because you know that they can't reciprocate. So you can just put in and it's less real. And you feel less bad when it doesn't work out because you can blame them. I don't know. It's just fucking really fascinating. Yeah, I woke up this morning and I thought it was like 6 in the morning. I thought like I really want to go back to sleep, but it's actually 10 in the morning. But it's weird. I feel like I never quite got to sleep last night, and now I'm awake. And yeah, I had that song, the Nine Inch Nails song, actually, that who redid it? Some famous guy. They're like, I hurt myself today to see if I still feel. Focus on the pain, the only thing that's real. And then like the song breaks or whatever. Like, I don't know my musical terminology at all. It's sad. It's like a deficiency I have. It'd be so cool to have all the skills, all the language, all the lingo, all the like understanding. As a chess player, like, I feel like it's so frustrating, even my understanding of chess. Like, I wish it was on a higher level. And that's part of the love thing. I don't know if I love it enough. I don't know if you have to love it more than just a distraction. You have to like anything to learn a foreign language, to learn an instrument. Like, when is it worth it to become obsessed with something? Anyway, yeah, and then I thought of that song. And then I thought of this comedian, Patrice O'Neal, I think is his name, and like how he would say it's a white person song. Like Fight Club is a white person movie, or Creep by Radiohead is like a white person song. And like, yeah, how white people are like, I don't remember exactly his point, but I guess we were like a bit neurotic. I mean, you really can't generalize about a whole race, right? But I guess we're like less extreme Jewish people. I don't know. I can't talk about Jewish people, right? Because I'm not Jewish. Although I found out I'm 10% Jewish. But that like obsession with feeling. Yeah, I wrote this paper in college about like psychology class about the kids who grew up with like crazy rich neurotic mothers versus kids who grew up with fairly abusive but non-neurotic mothers, like in impoverished environments versus like rich environments, and how there was actually some psychological things that poor kids didn't suffer that rich kids did suffer because their parents were consistent. Like if you have a bad mom who just like beats you or neglects you, but if she doesn't tell you like, oh, I love you, I'm doing this for you, or pour out her emotions on you in a weird way, but just is consistently bad, it's easier to adapt to that than someone who's like hot and cold. I'm going all over the place, but yeah, my main like mental ping pong ball bouncing around in my head this morning is just, yeah, human desire. And yeah, I feel like it's a very important thing. And I want to be obsessed. I think it's a positive thing. I want to limit my life so I can expand certain parts of myself. This internet is like a IV that's like busting my veins. It's just like there's so much coming in. And yeah, it's a nice feeling to read a book in peace for hours and hours at a time. And I would like to be able to fast again. I can't do it since my 20s. It's like a bad relationship. You just like something in you breaks and you can't try anymore. Something in me broke with that. I just can't. I don't have the discipline to do it anymore because what's the point if I restrict and then go crazy after? I need to restrict and then slowly just like give my system a rest. And then slowly bring food and healthy activities back. I mean, that's really what I want to do. I think people want to have a breakthrough, but they're like afraid to have a breakthrough. Because to have a breakthrough and then have life go back to the way it was, and you have this like insight and you thought you had it and then you don't, it's kind of more depressing than just never really getting it. And then you're like, you still have the hope that someday you could get it. But I really want to build a life of a lot of discipline and focus and healthy obsession with exercise, with, yeah, I don't know what my biggest fear is. Maybe it's to be alone. Maybe it's to feel isolated. Like when I'm online, right, and I'm trying to, say I'm like doing chess tactics, or I'm like, oh, I want to finally, I got all these chess books up here, like, if I went through them all, I'd be a master for sure. But I'm like, it's so hard to like crack a book and just focus on that, and you just feel like progress is coming so slow. And it's just overwhelming the amount of information that there is to learn to get this skill that, you know, what's the objective value of it? Like, you can win more money in tournaments, you could teach somebody, someone is impressed with it. Like, I mean, that's the cool thing about chess. It's basically, I hesitate to say it's like a total waste of time, but on some level it's a total waste of time. So the only reason to do it is for the process of doing it, is for like the mental ability to focus that you build up. I mean, yeah, and the ego of, playing a blitz game with like 6 people standing around and people are impressed when you win, and the personal satisfaction you get from winning, and so the aesthetic beauty of it, of being able to create something. But I really don't think that that's, yeah. I don't know whether I should just, well, anyway, I turned 39 yesterday, and my goal is to be 2,200 by my 40th birthday, and I'm no closer to that than, I don't remember what year it was that I broke 2,000. I actually broke 2,000 on my birthday and made a bet with a friend of mine for $20 that I could break 2,000 by my birthday, and I did. I think I was a long time ago, 34 years old. I mean, I could look it up. Everything's on the internet. 34, 35. And now I'm 39 in 1960, so my rating slipped. And, yeah. My cat's over here looking out the window. Can I flip the camera? Yeah, it's a very peaceful morning. My roommate's away. My ex-girlfriend moved out. I got a lady sleeping in my bed who I don't know very well. But she's said she's exhausted and barely slept this weekend, so she'll probably be out for a while. I like having people around, but not being responsible to them, if that makes sense. I love being around a sleeping person. It's really peaceful. I miss living with my daughter. I miss spending a day with her, taking her to the park, feeling like I did a good job making her feel loved and safe, and then she goes to sleep at night, and it's just a good feeling. It's really the best feeling. I've never really had a job I felt super proud of, or at the end of the day I was really satisfied with it, but being a parent, I felt like that, and I miss it. But yeah, tears are like another thing about me. I can't do it, really. I mean, especially on YouTube, right? I'm not gonna fucking cry in front of you. You people. You people. What a dick. I sound terrible, right? But I just can't do it right now. Yeah, crying is like that. It's like having a breakthrough. Like, what the fuck is the point of crying if you just cry and then your life goes back to the same? You have to learn something, or something has to break and reorganize and change inside you. Anyway, very unfocused video. Let me know your thoughts anyway. Thanks for watching. Bye.